Hello everybody and welcome back to the Rover Streetwise. Just thought I'd give you a quick car update and an update on the channel. I'm recording this on Halloween, 31st of October 2024, just to give it a date stamp. And I suppose this time of year, you know, you're expecting a lot of rain, a lot of wind, miserable, dark, cold evenings. Salting of the roads probably coming up soon, which obviously old cars are allergic to. This Streetwise being no exception to that at all, and it has suffered corrosion in the past. You know, if you watched the previous videos, you know all about that and the trials and tribulations of welding. So I suppose it's probably time to put this car into something of a hibernation mode. And that's what I'm going to do for the next couple of weeks, maybe the next month or two at least. You know, there are other pressures, other things that need seeing to in life, and a 20-year-old crap car like this, despite my love for it, isn't always priority, is it? Unfortunately. Yet again, sorry for the shaky camera on a slightly bumpy stretch of road, and we have a cyclist and pedestrian coming towards me here, so this is going to be fun, and we've navigated them both safely, thank you. So I'm probably going to lay this thing up for a little while, and I just thought I'd give you a quick rundown of what it still needs to get back to its best. So yeah, let's start with the headlining. Obviously that needs to be fixed, it's horrible. It's sellotaped up here so that it doesn't droop onto my head, and it still does rub off my head a bit if you lean forward. So the headlining needs re-gluing. Will I whip it out and do it all, scrape off all the old residue and get new material and glue it on properly? Excuse me, I'd honestly love to, but it just looks like an awful lot of fiddling about, and I'm not great at fiddling about with stuff. Apart from that though, the interior is absolutely fine, thankfully. Need to put new mats in it, need to give it probably another deep clean. I might even leave it in with somebody to give it a proper deep clean, a real good valet. Because you still get a smell of dampness every now and again, just a smell of old musty car smell that hasn't been used that much, so that probably needs seeing to. Mechanically then, it's where things really do need doing, and there's a few jobs that are beginning to pile up on this car. But let's start then with something very, very simple. It's not really mechanical, but it's the heater control dial, which is here. You've probably seen this on other Streetwise videos. I've tried gluing it, hence the whiteness there, but it's just knackered. It's broken. So I'm using a pair of vice grips to change the temperature. And also regarding temperature, thankfully it's fine. But you wouldn't know it looking at the dial, because the dial hardly ever rises above nothing. It's just like that at the minute. Which signifies the need for a new thermostat. I've done a bit of Googling, a bit of research on it, and apparently thermostats in old Streetwises, in old K-series engines, can become stuck. And what I've got in my hand is a brand new one in the box. Shout out to Discount MG Rover Spares. This isn't a sponsored video, can be though. So yeah, shout out to them. The customer service is fantastic, everything really good value, really well wrapped, quick postage, and of course that's not the easiest or the cheapest thing to Ireland where I am, but everything has been really, really great off them. So yeah, the new thermostat is in there, that needs fitting. It's probably a job I could do myself, but I'm just not confident, because you've got to drain all the coolant, and I mean on an engine which will live or die almost completely on, could be that much coolant because it doesn't run on too much of the stuff. I'm not too comfortable doing it, so I'm going to farm that off to my mechanic, who also said that he would fit a timing belt, a new timing belt. So I'm going to buy those kits, or that kit anyway, because of course it's got the thermostat. I'm going to buy those, drop them into him. But that's not going to be for a little while yet. Also, you're going to need a bit of welding. I did all the body welding on the body panels, the sills, and what have you. But there's a patch about, or a hole about that big on the chassis leg at the back that desperately needs a plate. I've sprayed it, sanded it down, sprayed it. It's at least protected. And I don't generally speak drive this thing in the wet anyway, to protect it. But yeah, that's going to need doing soon. That's going to be a few £100, hopefully not too much more than that. Don't want to try that again myself, because I couldn't get a decent earth on it when I was doing it. I tried it 2 or 3 times, and I'd sort of put a bit of sheathing around the petrol tank because it's not that far away from it, but I just wouldn't connect up, and I just thought there's something in the universe out there that's telling me to not do this job. Maybe a kind of an act of self-preservation. So I'm going to, leave that to a professional. And it needs 4 new tyres. The tyres on this thing are quite old. They are around 10 years old on each corner, which isn't great. I don't do huge miles, there's plenty of tread left on them, there's a little bit of cracking here and there. I mean, they wouldn't have been used for the 3 or 4 years that this thing was set up, so, but they do need replacing. Brakes also need replacing, so I'm going to buy new discs and new pads for the fronts. Not sure about the drum brakes at the rear. I might just leave those. I'll pop it in for an Irish MOT, an NCT, and see what fails, but I'll leave the backs for now. I can do the fronts myself. I've had the driver's front brake off here to lubricate all the pins down and stuff, because it was a bit sticky, but it was while I was doing that I noticed there's not a lot of meat left on the pads. And the discs just look a bit old. Now, I've done the exhaust, which was a big enough job, but thankfully got that done nice and quickly, relatively stress-free, and I'm really proud of myself for doing that. Actually, one of the biggest jobs I've done on a car. They are dead easy to do, but yeah, I was quite proud that I managed to get that done. That saved me a few £100 in labour charges. Delighted with that. And also it needs a new CV boot, that one here on the driver's side. It looks like it's just come away from the part in the coupling where it's supposed to be linked to. And obviously if stuff gets in there for the drive shaft, not good. Look at this fella going past on his electric scooter with a trailer with some wood on it. It's Halloween, so there's going to be plenty of bonfire action going on. Ridiculous. Pallets. Honestly, if you were selling pallets today, you'd never have to work another day in your life. You'd be minted. Oh yeah, and my clock. It just depends what time of day it is, what the weather's like, which direction the wind's blowing for that thing to work. I did have it fixed and it was working for about 5 days, but it's given up the ghost again. Honestly, what a heap of rubbish. So what's coming up then on the channel? Well, there's obviously going to be more Streetwise stuff, and I've got quite an archive of sort of old car things. Got an archive of old images off eBay from about 15 years ago. A load of old British cars that were for sale. That was my thing back then. I loved British Leyland products back then. I still do, but I really did have a thing for them back then. So I used to go on eBay and save all pictures of Metros, Maxis, Allegros, Rover SD1s, Triumph Dolomites, all that sort of stuff. I haven't got any of the actual listings, but I've got loads of the pictures. So, I mean, would anybody be interested in seeing those? I might whack up a few slideshows, a few videos of the different makes and models, perhaps. Something to think of. Because it can be a challenge to come up with new material, especially when you've only got one car on the fleet. It's not even a fleet anymore, is it? It's just one car. I've got my daily, a Volvo C30, but I don't know, would anybody be interested in seeing that? Might do a few videos on that. It's not crap, but it's quirky, it's nice, and it's definitely a future classic. It'll definitely be very collectible in the future. So, I don't know, might put some stuff up on that. But anyway, any of my videos and content that I'll be putting up will all be going up on Patreon first. So give us a follow, subscribe over there. I can't remember off the top of my head what the price and model's like, but it's cheap. It's like, I don't know, like £2 or £3 a month. So pile on over there, because that's where a lot of my content is going to be first. And there will be, of course, exclusive stuff up there as well. So listen, that's it from the Streetwise. Thanks very much for watching. You can find me on Patreon, on Twitter, and on Instagram. So, yeah, all is well in the world of crap cars on my side. And I'll see you soon on another video. Bye.